beloved ones. Take a moment now to point your awareness to a very fine energy that we are bringing into your room. And notice how it floats about you, calming everything down. Your thoughts, your emotions, your expectations, any restlessness that may be there. Breathe it in. And as you do, imagine that the physical world fades away. And yet you are indeed present, as some form of transparency only, with a definite sense of self. This sense of self unites you with all other life, for it is the same self that has moved through worlds, through universes, into various life forms to explore self, to explore life in all of its forms. And this is the same sense of self that the source has, that your soul has, that your neighbor has. So within every life form is this same experience of being self. It doesn't matter how large or small the life form is. It is the same self. And the smallest life form of you is your divine particles. If you'd break up the cells into molecules and atoms, and you break that down several times more, over and over, into smaller and smaller subatomic particles, you'd find your divine particles. And they are the most intelligent part of you. They know their purpose. They are divine. Love, light, consciousness combined. They are full of life, and so there is much going on in a divine particle, such as creation of consciousness or flow of consciousness. It holds the power of the nothingness that holds everything in form and in movement. And all that fits into the absolutely smallest part of you. There is this definite sense of self in every such small particle, too. And all of these divine particles are clustered together in the form of your body, as a way to add to experience, as a way to offer souls a form in which to incarnate. So imagine yourself in this way, as this sense of self, this transparency in a cluster of divine particles, as well as in every divine particle. And imagine all of the others here in this way too. And imagine your near and dear ones like this, the people in your life, as clusters of divine particles, and with that sense of self that is in all life, and that makes it possible to experience life. And imagine humanity in this way, a giant life form with billions of humans that are each one a cluster of divine particles with that sense of self in each human and in each particle. Thing about divine particles is that as you place your awareness on them, they respond and more divinity emerges, as if that sense of self inside such a particle would say, hey, wow, someone notices me, okay, I want to make myself as beautiful as I can. For that self loves to be seen and noticed, which is why you do too. It's why you respond when someone sees your beauty. When we speak about your light, you respond, and more emerges. When you see the light in another, more emerges too. And so imagine yourself on the earth as humanity. Now, from within your individual self, the person you are here, begin to communicate with this web of all of humanity. Your particles know how to do so. Simply let them. Ask them. For this is what's going to happen, that humanity is beginning to see its divinity, and to see it in one another, as well as in self. And as this happens, everything that is divine will connect to one another, communicate. So what we are suggesting here is that you make this your strategy, your gift to the world. Communicate from divinity to divinity. For as you do it, and as you do it in this way, you surpass all ideas, you surpass all limitations, and straight into the core of what matters and what changes. So imagine how this web of humanity becomes finer and finer, more light, more loving, no limitations. And you can communicate with anything in this way, thereby giving it space to unleash its divinity and potential. And when you do it from this level, you do it without expectations, so that you do not limit it. And you can communicate with things, with other life forms, with the earth herself, with us. And this is so simple. You cannot make choices for others, but you can offer them everything. The key to life itself, divinity. And this is what everyone is searching for, just like you. You can, though, make choices for the collective. You can call for anything for the collective, and you would be the anchor point for it. And from you it will spread to others. And this is how we, the spiritual guides, communicate with you every time we come through. And that is why so many of you are feeling that something more goes on than just the spoken messages. And indeed it does. And now you can do the same and be a guide for humanity in this way. And as you do so, more divinity emerges in you. For as we said, these particles are the most intelligent part of you, and they have waited for this, for the light to be strong enough around the earth, for you to begin to communicate this way. And if you work with a light body, you can play with letting the divine particles of it communicate with you and with others. For this will indeed let you live a harmonious life in a world of change. So blessings, beloved ones. We are the higher commands of light.